So, making this video, don't know how much value it has, but this is where I used to practice soccer in high school. It doesn't look like none of this was here. It was just an open field, and used to practice on this field. And this is still here. This is the same exact Newman Smith soccer practice gym, but I used to practice here. I don't know if R.L. Turner or Creekview used to practice here, but I think Creekview did have their practice sessions here also, possibly. Which Michaela went to soccer. I know she was in track, but I thought I'd make a video on this. This is where Nick Herrera's mother used to pick me up with Nick a couple of times when me and Nick would do like cardio. He tried out for soccer, I think he did, but I remember being picked up by him several times. But I got picked up here, and I was only in soccer for my freshman year, if I remember correctly, and that was it. Ted Polk, that's where Lindsay Wessinger and went to middle school, and then that is where Adrian, who I threw a party with many years ago, where I threw a party with Annie Caldwell at Club Mink right before I got diagnosed with a terminal illness. He went to this school over here, Ted Polk. I went to D. Webb Perry, but I want to talk about this because when I was going here, this is where I ultimately felt the symptoms of aplastic anemia, and I was 15 and 16 years old. And you can ask Nick to verify this, where we started running laps to do a cardio to see who could run last, and I couldn't last more than a full lap, and this is where I almost collapsed. And Nick told me, he goes, "Damn, man, you look," and we're really competitive toward another to help each other, but he looked at me and he noticed my face was really white and I was breathing very heavy. And he was like, "Damn, Hector, you look really exhausted." And I was almost like collapsing. And I get into the car with Nick Herrera, and I was 16 to 15 years old. And he tells me, he goes, "Damn, Hector, you look really tired. You're okay?" And he saw that I was sort of just collapsing. So this is how I know. This is like, I didn't start doing hard drugs until I was late 16, somewhere around 16. But this is before I was doing hard drugs. When me and Nick did a cardio session, this is before I was doing very hard drugs. And he noticed that I could barely breathe. And I was like collapsing and very pale. So I thought I'd make a video on this because this is where I was practicing. We just did like a cardio session a couple of times, and that was pretty much it. But I thought I'd make a video on that to verify that this is where I believe the aplastic anemia was also indicating that I had aplastic anemia. And I was on this soccer field, and I remember I couldn't stop the bleeding from my nose. Like the platelets in my blood was so low that I couldn't get the blood to stop. It was very difficult. There was another soccer player on my team. I think his name's Alex. And I remember him telling me, he's like, "Damn, man, you're really bleeding bad." And it was just because it was hot outside. And I couldn't, he goes, "You're bleeding a lot." And I couldn't get the blood to stop. And I had to sit on the sidelines during the practice. And I thought I'd make a video on that this is also indications of another person who saw me that, I looked very weak. So anyway, I thought I'd make a video on this. And it's still here, but none of this stuff over here was there, and this is just all open field. But I thought I'd make a video.